The sound of her laughter hit me before I saw her. That soft melodic tone I'd once fallen in love with now dripping with something poisonous. I stood frozen outside the half-open bedroom door, the dim hallway light flickering above me like a warning. Inside, between the faint rhythm of whispered moans and rustling sheets, came her voice again, my wife's voice. "Don't worry, he'll never know," she said, breathless. And then a man's voice replied, low and sure. "He's too busy worshipping you to even notice." My heart clenched. For a moment I couldn't breathe. Every instinct told me to storm in, to tear apart whatever illusion I'd been living in for the last 8 years. But I didn't. I just stood there, my hand trembling on the doorframe, staring at the shadows of 2 bodies moving together in the bed I'd built for us. The smell of her perfume, vanilla and jasmine, mingled with the musk of sweat and betrayal. It was suffocating. I backed away quietly, my pulse pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. My phone slipped from my shaking hand. I bent down to pick it up, and that's when I realized the record button was still open from earlier. My thumb hovered over it. Then I pressed record. That was the moment the old me died. 2 weeks later, she stood in front of me, glowing radiant, completely unaware that I knew. "Can you believe it's almost our anniversary?" she said, stirring sugar into her coffee. 8 years, Daniel. We made it through everything." I smiled weakly. "Yeah, we did." I watched her, the way she tucked her hair behind her ear, the way she avoided eye contact when she lied. She'd always been good at pretending. But now every small gesture felt like a confession. When she mentioned planning a surprise anniversary party, my stomach twisted. She wanted to invite friends, family, even my parents. The irony was brutal. I wanted to scream that I had the real surprise planned. The night of the party, our house glittered with string lights and laughter. Music floated through the air. Glasses clinked. Everyone kept saying how perfect we looked, how lucky we were. I played my role flawlessly, the devoted husband smiling, thanking people, kissing her cheek. But underneath it, something inside me seethed quietly. Every laugh she gave felt like a blade pressing deeper into my ribs. Every time she touched my arm, my mind flashed back to that night, to her hands tangled in someone else's hair. She was wearing the same perfume. At one point I caught her glancing across the room. Her eyes lingered too long on a man near the bar. He was tall, well-dressed, confident. I didn't need to wonder. I knew. The urge to act right then, to humiliate her in front of everyone, was almost unbearable. But I waited. I wanted it to hurt. Not out of cruelty, but because I needed her to understand the depth of what she'd destroyed. After the toast, the music dimmed, and everyone gathered around the screen for a slideshow I'd prepared. Photos of our years together filled the wall. Wedding pictures, vacations, anniversaries past. She beamed beside me, her hand wrapped around mine. Then halfway through, the photos stopped. A video began. First it was just sound. Her voice. Soft, unmistakable. "Don't worry, he'll never know." The room fell silent. The laughter vanished. Then came the shadows. The moans. The unmistakable rhythm of 2 people who weren't supposed to exist in that way. Gasps echoed around the room. Someone dropped a glass. Her face went pale. "Daniel, turn it off," she whispered, trembling. "Please." But I didn't move. I wanted her to feel it, the humiliation, the exposure, the raw pain I'd been choking on for weeks. When the video ended, the silence was suffocating. "That's my wife," I said quietly. "My faithful, loving wife." Tears spilled down her cheeks. "Daniel, it's not what it looks like." "Then explain it," I snapped. My voice cracked under the weight of everything I'd been holding back. "Explain why you let me celebrate a marriage you already buried." She looked around, her face crumbling as people averted their eyes. Even her own sister couldn't meet her gaze. The man from the bar had disappeared. Coward. I turned away from her, the ring on my finger suddenly feeling like a chain. "You planned this party to celebrate us," I said. "So I made sure everyone could see what we're really celebrating." Her knees buckled, and she fell against the table, sobbing. "Daniel, please don't do this here." But it was already done. Later that night, after everyone had left and the lights had dimmed, I sat alone in the backyard. The air was cold, the sound of the crickets eerily calm. She came outside, wrapped in a shawl, her eyes swollen. "You humiliated me," she whispered. I looked at her. "You destroyed me." We stared at each other for a long time. There was no shouting now, just the quiet aftermath. The hollow ache of two people realizing there was nothing left to salvage. "I didn't mean for it to happen," she said finally, her voice shaking. "I felt lonely. You were always busy. I wanted to feel wanted again." I almost laughed. "So you destroyed the one person who wanted you the most?" Her lips trembled. "Do you hate me?" I thought about that for a long moment. "No," I said softly. "I don't hate you. But I can't love you anymore." I took off my ring and set it on the table between us. The sound of it hitting the wood was final, sharp, metallic, unforgiving. She started crying again, but I didn't move to comfort her. For once, I let her feel what I had felt, emptiness. The next morning, the house was silent. She was gone. Her things, her perfume, her presence, all erased overnight. But the echo of her laughter still haunted the walls. I walked into the living room, where the remnants of the party still lingered. Balloons half deflated, glasses unwashed, confetti scattered like the remains of a celebration that had turned into an autopsy. And in that stillness I realized something. Exposing her hadn't healed me. It hadn't brought peace or closure. It had only shown me how love, once broken, doesn't shatter cleanly. It lingers, sharp and splintered, long after the noise fades. And maybe that's the cruelest part of betrayal. It doesn't end when they get caught. It ends when you finally stop bleeding.